Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I hope you all had a beautiful weekend. I'm sending you all love and high vibrations to start this week. We're getting consistent red pills over here in crypto land. So in today's video, I'm going to go over some charts and zoom out to show everyone the bigger picture and bring some calmness into your lives. That's what I'm here for. And it's days like this that it's best to step back and be grateful for all the things we have. When the market is down and every single crypto YouTuber is shouting that this is the end of the world with their O-face thumbnails, or the XRP is going to $100 for the 100th video in a row, you could come back over here for a reality check and a red pill on the house. Take a deep breath, spread love, and remind yourself that this is just the Matrix. Like this picture shows you, at the end of the day, it's fine. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe, turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out, and make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. For those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. My email is in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So first things first, to answer a lot of questions, today's date numerology added up 7 for July, 19 for the day, and 2021 comes out to be 22, the master destroyer number. It's important we pay attention to whenever we get the 22s or the 33s. And today's the day. So we're getting a lot of volatility stepping into this market, and I'm going to show you some other things that we have to pay attention to. So for one, we have the DXY dollar index. We've been paying attention to this for a while now, and what we're seeing actually is the first time ever in about 300 days, this white trend line that was actually a support back earlier last year and then became a resistance around September 24th, 2020. Go ahead and just measure from when it first hit till today, and you could see we're at 297 days right there. And this is the first time that it's actually broken out, but when it hit this top, it did get harshly rejected, and it spent a lot of time trading below this line again, and now it looks like it's retesting to try breaking again. So this is interesting because this is the most trading days we've ever seen on this trend line as a resistance, and that's typically indicative of a break. Now, I did mention in my previous video that we could see a break as high as 95, and that would not be good for crypto, but we just have to pay attention to some other things. So for one, the US 10-year yield, the bonds are down and they're tanking, and this sort of like cliffhanger dive that we're getting is indicative of something that came before the COVID crash. But, typically when you see the yields correcting and the dollar actually starts to correct, which again, the dollar's up today, that's stock market bullish. So what I do want to look into is a possible trend that we've been seeing time and time again, but please remember I had videos earlier in July where I saw a break of this trend line, which was a beautiful support. And once I saw the break of this trend line followed by a retest of the trend line, confirming it as a new resistance, that rejection has led to continuation and lower lows, and I told everyone look out for the 236. That should actually be pretty bullish for the overall market. But anyways, the whole reason behind this spike was because of multiple times of the Federal Reserve coming out and talking about yield increase into 2023, which is so far away that it's just simply theater. And of course, since then, it's been on a consistent downtrend and making continual higher lows and lower lows. So it is what it is. But the one thing I do want to get into is the Dow Jones and how the Dow Jones is getting drained today, 800 points down. Mama me. So this is pretty rough, but I do see a pattern here, and I'm going to show you guys the pattern. Excuse me. So what we have here is this pink trend line. This pink trend line has been working out pretty nice, and I'm actually going to measure from around May 14th, which is this little dip right here, over to here, and we're getting about 134 days. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure from September 24th over to January 29th, And we're looking at right there about 130 some odd days. Let's go from here, October, over to March, and we're getting 124 days. So we're seeing that there's a pattern here where it likes to return to this trend line. We're going to go from here, February 2nd, over, and you get about 136 days. And then finally, we have from March over to where we're at now, we have 136 days. There's a trend, and it's tight within 122 to 136, as high as 140 trading days. So disregard bars because the weekends are closed for the Dow. So anyways, the point being here is that what does this tell us? We could use this pattern and look to the future to see if we can get some information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from right here, the first dip. It looks like it just likes to double bottom, like this W shape before continuation to the upside. You can see double bottom, continuation, and we're just doing exactly what we typically do. So I'm going to measure from here. I'm going to go out about 122 days to 140 days. And you could see that puts us out October 18th all the way up to about November 5th. And then we have here from where we're at about 122 days to 140 days. We're looking at November 18th as far as December. So around December 6th. So what this is telling me is sometime between mid-October all the way to the beginning of December, we should actually anticipate a 36,000 to 37,000 points for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, could it break this trend line finally and just, plummet to the downside? Sure. How would anyone know? This market is overheated, but it's been on this consistent uptrend for a while now. We're about to enter the Shemitah starting in a couple months, and this is not the time that you typically see a market break down. Typically, the markets break down during a Shemitah. They go up to new highs before Shemitahs in most cases, and we've seen even sometimes historically that when a Shemitah starts, we will have a consistent uptrend through the entire Shemitah until September of the following year, the following Rosh Hashanah, and then we will see the market start to collapse. So what does that tell me? That's telling me that we're still kind of in the zone of uptrend. And could this time be different? Of course. But I'm just considering all things when we're doing this work. So anyways, the point being here is that this is pretty crucial information. A lot of crypto channels don't talk about this, but I believe that anyone who's been in my following me for a while now knows that I'll go back and I'll revisit some of these things, especially when we're getting pressure in the market. Now, when we're getting pressure in the market, it's nice to know what's causing it. And if you look at the bonds, the bonds are trillions of dollars. Bitcoin is so tiny compared to this. Your favorite altcoin is like a little fish in an enormous ocean. So it's very important that people know that. So before we move into the Bitcoin price action, go ahead and like this video. Last video, we said we'll get 700 likes. We almost got 800. Let's do that today. 800 likes would be beautiful. Spreading the word of what we're doing here, giving out red pills to the masses. It's beautiful. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart. We do see that there was a little buyback for Bitcoin around the $30,400 level. Again, it's just really having a lot of buying pressure at this $30,000 level. And you guys know how this goes. As we get towards a full moon, we typically have bearish price action. And the full moon is on the 23rd this month, so we do have some days we're not necessarily out of the woods just yet. But we have actually seen bottoming structures come in 4 to 5 days before a full moon and 4 to 5 days after a full moon. And that's why it's something I always tell you guys to watch out for. It's not the exact date of a full moon or a new moon, it's the trading around it. So today is going to be extremely volatile. It's only 11:30 here. The stock market closes in about 5 hours for the indices and most traditional stocks. That gives a lot of time for shakeouts. Same thing with tomorrow and etc. It's kind of one of those times where if you don't have money to buy these dips and you're full of anxiety and stress and you're wondering if you made a bad decision, you really just need to step back and maybe wait out this next week or so. It's gonna be okay. So many people have been biting their nails recently when we just passed the recent new moon. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about if I hide all the drawings and just bring up the moon phases indicator. But again, it actually did maintain somewhat bullish throughout that time comparatively to where we're at today. And if you look at where we get our full moons, they're always on these massive lows. So you could see right back here, about 3 days before we had that touch to 30,000. You could see right here, a couple days before we got that touch below 30,000. And today is no different. We have a full moon in a couple days, and we could see we're definitely heading down in this red. So it's interesting to see that the previous new moon was almost neutral, and overall the June and July new moon and full moons have been somewhat neutral when it comes to volatility. We're so used to so much volatility for anyone who's new to this market. But if anyone could go back to last year, you could know that we had a time like this, and it was all the way since the C-word crash. Pretty much straight flatline price action for a very long time. It traded from around the halving all the way up till October, 154 days, barely moving $1,000. So today we've seen a $1,000 move alone, but we had a 154-day period last year where we barely saw any price action. So if we go from May over 154 days, look at where that puts us. That puts us in October. What do you hear me say on every single video? It's going to take until October for us to see a trend reversal. So we might move up into next month, but then I believe we're coming right back down, and we're going to keep chopping until we surpass the Shemitah. So the Shemitah combined with the September full moon is a powerful combo. And I have some videos coming for you guys to kind of explain a little bit more into the moon cycles, counting moon cycles, and how we could use that as another indicator. Because lately we've just been using it for microcycle tops on the new moons and microcycle lows on the full moons, and it's been working out incredibly. Over a year, 2 years, you could look back at this indicator time and time again. You do have neutral months though. So it's nice that these neutral months come, because what does that tell you? That's accumulation. You want to be buying when the market is fearful, or you want to be buying when the market is bored. Those are the two greatest times to buy any crypto or any asset in general. When everyone is completely in despair and, has their head in their palm every single day they wake up looking at the prices, but they disregard that these reaccumulation cycles could take hundreds of days to play out. Patience. Patience is what is necessary. I've lived through this whole accumulation phase. I'm glad that I bought as much as I could when I did, because then we got to here, and it was pretty damn amazing to see such a thing come to play. A lot of people are new here because of the Dogecoin and Shiba shitcoin phase, and that's what got everyone buying top. So now that everyone's buying top, and this is no offense to you, if you're scared right now, you should be using this time to reaccumulate, to average out your positions so that your dollar cost averaging and whatever plays you vibe with are now equivocal, because at the end of the day, this is as low as it's really going to get. Could Bitcoin flash down lower? Absolutely, but you should be in an accumulation phase. This was your distribution phase, and this was your reaccumulation phase. It happens time and time again, guys. And if you study the 4-year cycles in Bitcoin, it doesn't let you down. Investing in general is a risky game, but Bitcoin is the best performing asset of the decade. So if you're into altcoins and you just do solid TA, educate yourself how the Bitcoin chart works, you can navigate yourself through the altcoin chart pretty damn nicely as well. If your favorite altcoin is down 15% that day, it's like seeing your favorite t-shirt be put on a 15% discount. Wouldn't you want to buy it? That's kind of the funny thing about crypto, though, is because everyone loves it when it's up, but then everyone hates it when it's down. And sorry for the rant, but I do feel like this sort of information on a day like this is important, especially if you're newer here. If you're newer to this investment game, this is the kind of stuff you want to be hearing. You don't want to be hearing some YouTuber tell you that it's okay, we're never going to go down more. Bitcoin's going to $1 million and XRP's going to $300. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. If anyone talks like that, they're just trying to get views. That's all they want. They don't want to help. If you're really trying to help, it's all about the mindset. It's all about how rich people buy when there's blood in the streets. Poor people complain when there's blood in the streets. It's very simple. So at this time, it's really important that we consider that we could be entering what's called a spring in Wyckoff. It's very possible that we do that. Again, with Wyckoff, if we just disregard this whole area back here, we assume that was our our top. We come down, we have a selling climax, automatic rally, some supply tests, and then we fall down lower. And when we fall down lower, that's called a spring in Wyckoff. Again, if you guys paid attention to the YouTubers a couple months ago, they were calling this the spring. You never heard that come out of my mouth at one time. How would it be a spring if you're just coming back to previous levels? A spring is not when you have a dip of only a couple $100 difference from your previous lows. A spring is a dramatic shakeout to the downside followed by a V-shaped recovery. So anyways, a lot of these newer guys who are using Wyckoff, it's great because they're spreading the word, but we've been using Wyckoff here since last year. You could go watch my first YouTube video. You could see for yourself. I've stopped using it as much recently because right now we're just in a phase of sideways and boring and to the downside. So anytime you get a discount, if you're into this market and you really want to be a bigger player before this bull run ends, this is just the time to be buying. But I've also said and prefaced in every single video, expect sideways, boring, and bloody until at least the September full moon, and I've made it even more simplified by saying October. That's what we need to look out for. So for downside targets for Bitcoin, I'm looking at probably 27K because 27 has that tie to the 72 in Bitcoin using Gematria. I'll just show you that really quickly. So we get that 72 and everything works as above, so below. So again, I wouldn't even be surprised if it went to 72 and then the next high upside target resistance we hit is 72,000, has a little bit of a trading range before the blow off top. That would be a classic way to use the code, but we could go lower. And if we go lower, we really have to pay attention to volume. That would be the spring. So whenever that comes, that's going to hurt everything. And I'll just quickly go over XRP to let you guys know. Check in. Yeah, the dollar being up this much and the market being down, it's really, really volatile today. So today's a great day to kind of like educate yourself, you know, like what did I just watch? What did I just see? And take note of it. Take note of how you feel. You know, traders especially, any of you traders out there, you know that you need like an emotions journal. You need something to be taking account, you know, writing down how you feel about these movements. And if you're starting to get better and better at cutting out the emotions, then you're definitely on your way to becoming a successful investor. So what are we seeing here in the XRP chart? I'm going to take off the moon cycles. I don't even really want to talk about indicators today because I don't need to. The flash down that I would be expecting first and foremost if Bitcoin wants to break to like 28K really quickly, it would probably be the 51 cent or even slightly lower, as low as 46 cents. The reason behind the 46 cents is if I do want to pull up an indicator right there, we have the point of control on the VPVR, but there's pretty much the reason is this W breakout before we went into a parabola. That's kind of where I would expect the trading range to bounce back at. And just seeing how boring and low volume this whole market is, it's getting ready to make a move. And usually the way that it all works is this: flash, boom. It is really fucked up, because if you haven't seen this happen before, it could really shake you out. I've seen a lot of people sell at these moments and then bitch and complain 2 weeks later when the prices have tripled. So it's kind of just something to take account, you know, just to continue to write down what you're seeing happen in this market during these phases. I tell people this story all the time of how when I first invested in Chainlink, it was $2. Then I watched it go to $20. Then it came back to $7 and traded sideways for 200 days. When that happened to me, I learned so much. And you could even see in my mastermind course, if any of you are part of it, there's a video on Chainlink talking about my altcoin strategy. And my altcoin strategy is pulling fibs and showing you how you could pull fibs to essentially figure out upside targets and then de-risk yourself by removing your initial investment, then reallocating your initial into the lower levels after the correction or the back test of previous resistance. Now, with that being said, you know, it was beautiful to watch it go to 7 and then also see it go to 50. Seeing it go all the way to $54, which again, we should have expected that because Chainlink equals the 54 in Gematria. So anyways, that move on Chainlink, when I saw that, it was really incredible to watch it all play out because, you know, a lot of people didn't think it could happen. You could see right there, hit $54 on the nose and then a humongous correction. And this is how it works. This is how it works. You pay attention to the Gematria, you learn some solid TA, and then you start to learn market structure. When you just have these fast, sharp movements to the upside, you have to get ready to be taking some chips off the gambling casino, because they could get bloody really fast, and we've all learned our lesson here. So what is the lesson here is, if you don't have any money right now to invest, it's probably best that you just sit this one out until August. Don't be selling at a loss. That's silly. We have plenty of juice in the fruit for this bull run. At least that's what I'm feeling intuitively, and that's what I'm feeling based off of all of my study of previous Shemitas, previous market crashes, etc. If it was time to be selling, trust me, I would be the first guy who would lay my head on the line and tell you that. So anyways, expect Bitcoin to be kind of shaken around because of the way that the market's being treated right now. And then also we could pay attention to Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is definitely like getting ready. It's getting ready to move. It's forming continuous higher lows, and it's about ready to pop to the upside. This doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin dominance going up will bring the US dollar value of your altcoins down. That's not how this works. It's just going to be a market strength. And if Bitcoin really wants to rampage to the upside or the downside, those extremes could really carry those alts however they go. So everyone needs to pay attention to that. What is the thing we always say at times like this? Don't be a bear, don't be a bull, be a wolf, follow the moon. Full moon is on July 23rd, which is in 4 more days. Just let the blood flow. So anyways, if you guys are interested in learning technical analysis and combining it with Gematria, you can join my mastermind course. This week, we will be doing the Gematria Masterclass, Decoding Digibyte. I'm really excited to jump into that one. I will be starting that decode sometime tomorrow. I also have an interview coming up mid this week. I'll be letting you guys know about that date probably tomorrow. At the end of this week, I'll be doing a collaboration with Decode Your Reality. Logan had a 2-hour conversation with him the other day. It was amazing. Really excited to do that collab with him. And then, enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Just remember, it's all fine. And much love.